are back. I'm Dave.
I'm Sean.
Hey, Dave. Yeah.
This is Darrell Millar.
Yeah.
Of Killer Dwarfs. So
AKA Darrell Dwarf. So yeah,
just before we broke in the last segment, you're talking about the current lineup. So for people that don't know, who's the current lineup besides yourself and Russ?
Okay. So we go on these hiatuses, the Killer Dwarfs. We've been together 40 years. That means Russ and I have been together for 40 years. And there's been a couple of member changes along the way, mostly guitar players. And we had a hiatus in the mid, I guess, 204. What was our last show? Was 205. We toured from 2001 to 2005, and we did Reunion of Scribes DVD. That lineup was the lineup. That reunion got back together. It was Ronbo, Mike, Russ, and I for that 5 years. And then we went on another hiatus from 205 up to 210, I guess. And it actually went up to 212. And I started a band called Automan.ca. I'm the lead singer in that band, still have the band. And Russ did some solo stuff on his own. And I don't want to say we split up because we never do split up, but the hiatus took us in other directions. And I had an opportunity to start my Automan blues rock band. I love blues rock, old AC/DC and stuff like that. So I got 3 albums out with that band, Automan.ca. You can look that up on YouTube and all that. It's all there. I'm actually still writing some new songs for that, and we will play live again with that band. But we're talking about the Killer Dwarfs right now. So Russ and I got talking again, and around 211, and the climate of rock and roll was feeling good again, if you know what I mean by that. The 80s metal resurgence, there was definitely a resurgence. Monsters of Rock Cruise was a big part of that. They helped. That Monsters of Rock Cruise has been going on for a while. I think they helped the resurgence of all those 80s metal bands, Winger and Queensryche and LA Guns and Faster Pussycat, and all the bands that are still around like us, and those bands are on that boat, and it's just a big family, and it's really cool. We're on it again in February. Nice. But anyway, getting back to Russ calling me and chatting, and we decided to get back together and tour again, and that was around 211, 212. So we said, let's call Jerry up. Now Jerry is the guitar player that recorded Method of the Madness, and he's my favorite guitar player actually. I don't like to have favoritism, but out of Bryce and Mike, and I don't know, Jerry and I are, I guess, brothers. We're good friends, right? Not just bandmates, and that helps, right? It's like a marriage, right? Are you a good friend with your wife, or right? It helps to be a good friend with your wife so you can go hang out, same idea. So Jerry was our first choice to call up, and we hadn't worked with him in quite a long time, and he was on board, and it was really cool. He was down with it. He goes, I'd love it. I'd love to get back and tour again, and as the Dwarfs. So we had a meeting at a restaurant with our manager, Robbie and Russ and myself and Jerry, and we put it all back together in 2013. And we called up Ronbo, as we were talking off air, Ronbo, the bass player from the Dwarfs, for 3 or 4 albums there. And Ron has a busy life in Buffalo, New York, and he owns a garage station. He builds cars, fixes cars, and that's his passion. And he in his mind, he had retired from rock and roll from 2005 on, for the hiatus of the 7 years. In his mind, he was retired, I guess. I didn't know that, but because Russ and I never retire, so we just think everybody's like us. But so Rombo turned it down, and I instantly said I got the guy, and the guy would be John Fenton, who's in the band now, who's my bass player in Automan, my blues rock band.
Yeah,
he's just a good guy and a great player, and I already knew he wasn't a guy that would kill you in your sleep when you're on your tour bus.
That's important.
You can trust him. It helps. He's not going to steal your money or your wallet. He's a good guy, and he fit with our personalities and everything. He fit the band like a glove. And so this lineup of the band of Jerry, Finn, Jerry Dwarf, Russ Dwarf, myself, Johnny Dwarf now, and Darrell Dwarf, whatever. Us four have had a great run. We've been touring since 2013. So this is one of our longest touring spots. With no hiatus, we've other than this new virus bullshit that's made us all retire for 2 years. I don't like that. But we're slowly getting back. We just played 2 concerts and it was amazing. We did one in Manitoulin Island with Street Heart and Prism
nice.
in the
Nice.
summer. It was a blast. It was an outdoor show in August. That was our first show back since 2019 December. And then we just flew to Whitehorse and played the Blue Feather Festival. That's one of our favorite friends runs that festival. His name's Gary
Nice.
Bailey, and we played that festival 5 times. And he put it on again, and it's in a theater out there. And Darby Mills was on the bill with us this time, and they fly us in. I know it's insane. I tell people I flew to Whitehorse for one show, but that's the way it is. We're there for 5 days. It's great. You go dog sledding and all this. It's amazing up there. It's like a holiday. So you get paid really well. And they fly us in and fly us home. It was a blast.
Well, without sounding crass, I wanted to kind of ask that question because, I mean, to be fair, like from 1983 to 1989 to 2021, are the venues still there? Is the money still there? I mean, to your point earlier, I know you want to come back out east, and Sean and I are big on trying to promote like an Eastern type festival like we had years ago. But it's got to be hard now. The money involved in taking like a 4-piece band and a 3-piece crew and your backline gear and your whatever else it is it profitable?
Well, the money, what we found is the money wasn't quite there back in the mid 2000s when we were touring when we got back together and did Reunion of Scribes and all that. It's right after the grunge era and all that. That was a rough run we had. We toured America and everything, and we were finding we were up against, like, we weren't getting the money that we needed to do those tours. So that's why we went away again for a while, because the climate was not there yet. But the good news is since 2013 we got back, and the resurgence, there has been a huge resurgence of 80s metal and metal. Our price is back to where we want it to be.
Perfect.
And we only play venues that are going to pay that price. That's our price, and we don't waver from it.
No.
And what that has done, though, in all fairness to you guys, we're not playing bars though as much. We're playing casinos and cruises and theaters. So that's a great thing for us because they're beautiful venues to play. I'm not saying we won't play any clubs. I mean, we have played the Rock Pile every year up here in Toronto, which is a nice club up here. It's big.
Junior.
But this newfound thing for us is because we've almost evolved into a classic rock band now. We've been around so long, right? 40 years come this New Year's, that people want to see the real deal. Like, we're like the real deal. Like, we're the real deal, man. We're 4 guys that stand up there and play our instruments with no auto tune and no nothing. We're just a naked rock band like Van Halen when they came out in the bars, you know what I mean? Like, we're as real as it gets, dudes. We don't have backing tracks, and we sing all the vocals, we sing everything. And you're hearing a machine that's an old machine, but it's the same machine.
Right on.
I'm the same drummer. I still play at that level. Russ's voice is amazing. For his age, I'm not just saying this because he's in my band, because I wouldn't talk about him at all. I wouldn't bring his name up if I thought, right? But he's singing at such a high level right now at his age that I'm amazed. He's when we go on that Monsters of Rock cruise, there's 50 bands on that boat. Alice Cooper's on it this year. It's like some real classic bands like Pat Travers and all these bands are on this boat, man. Queensryche, all these boat bands, and all these singers. Like, Russ is in the top 5 singers on that boat with Tesla and all these guys.
Right.
Like, he is, man. He's singing at that level. He's definitely easily in the top 5 of 50 bands on that boat. I'm proud of him for it. He quit drinking. He's just disciplined, and he's got the pipes. And as long as he's got the pipes, and I don't get arthritis or something and can't drum anymore, you're going to see the Killer Dwarfs tour right now a lot.
That's
Like
awesome.
our plan is to play all the time, anywhere, as much as we can over the next 5 years.
Then it does beg the question, Darrell, that I've gone out and I've seen certain bands that I grew up liking, and um, the chops weren't there anymore, and it was like it,
Mm.
unfortunately, and you're probably in the same boat. I grew up listening to bands where you hear these amazing vocals on record, and you go and see them live, and it's just not cutting it. So there's something to
Sad,
be
isn't
said
it?
for, yeah, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
And
I mean, you don't want
without,
to point fingers or even say names right now, but I've experienced it too, and it's very uncomfortable.
Yep.
I go to a show and I'm expecting to hear that band, and when I see a singer struggle, I gotta leave. It gives
Yeah.
me the willies. Like
Yeah,
I
it's sad.
feel so bad
It's
for them.
sad.
No, but
Yeah.
I just feel bad for singers that they're reaching and struggling. God, you want to hear that music though, man. You want to hear it, but you don't want to hear it that way anymore. Like it's
Yeah.
just.
But then you'll
Yeah,
see a Glenn Hughes video pop up, and it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
God, I love Glenn Hughes.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, he's just amazing, man. Like
yeah, he's a freak of
that
nature.
that band he was in, Black Country Communion.
Yeah.
Oh man, that song "Smokestack Woman." Oh, his vocal in that "Smokestack Woman." It's just like, dude, are you kidding me? You're singing like that? What are you, 80? He's just
Yeah,
singing
no.
like that.
Yeah,
I mean, he's at least 70.
Yeah.
Oh
If I'm
yeah.
60, Glenn Hughes has got to be 70 years old.
Yeah.
I went
And
I
he's-
went the I went down the old YouTube rabbit hole of Death there, and I found him doing a whiter shade of pale, and it was
Yeah, yeah.
just insane.
Oh, I know.
Just insane.
He's a really perfect example of a guy that somehow, I don't know how he does it, but he hangs on to his pipe. I just like, wow, I'd like to know his secret there, because I mean, age is age, right? I mean, and
Yeah.
it's hard on a singer, man. You're never going to have that range you had when you were 20. There's no way. You
No.
you age and you lose it, and like Glenn Hughes is a great example to bring a guy up that I put him like Russ, right? Like when you get to see us live, you'll be surprised how well Russ can sing those songs these days. It's like most people are pleasantly blown away when they hear us, and they always comment to me. They go, "I can't believe Russ can sing like that still."
That's
I go,
cool.
yep.
Darrell,
Well,
I
I
had a
mean,
question for you. I had a question for you, because this kind of happened. We think back to, well, I think of Rob Reiner from Ample, who almost got stole away from, by Ozzy. He was that good a drummer. Again, broke up Ample. Like Russ would be that good a singer. You're that good a drummer. So in your hiatus with Killer Dwarfs, I know two guys left and went to Helix, I think. So like, did that ever happen? Did you guys get other offers, or did you always stay true to form with Killer Dwarfs? Did you have that vision the whole time?
Well, yeah, it's funny that you did say that. I actually got an offer to play in Wasp.
Oh wow.
Yeah, during recording one of our records, or one of our big records, Dirty Weapons. Yeah. So yeah, I turned it down because I'll tell you why. Killer Dwarfs is my band with Russ.
Mhm.
Like it's our band, and I'm not a hired guy in a band, and
Yeah.
that's worth more money than all the money in the world to me. To not be a hired guy. I would be a
Cool.
hired guy in Wasp. I'd just be a sideman, hired player.
Yeah.
Your future's really uncertain when you're a hired gun and a hired player. You could be on one tour and out of work the next. Out.
Yeah.
Man, you know how hard I've worked on the Killer Dwarfs, marketing it and working it from day one with the band and with Russ, and from 81 up to 89, and then a guy comes along and says, "Hey, Wasp is looking for a drummer. They saw you play at the country club. The Blackie wants you to audition." And I'm like, "I'm working with Andy Johns right now, man, on a record. All right, forget it, forget about it. No, I'm busy." I had no problem saying no to that.
That's cool.
And Ross had his own things too, come along. Like he, not a lot of people know this, but when Bruce Dickinson left Maiden, Russ had an offer to audition for Iron Maiden because we toured with Maiden, and
Be a good fit.
he was on the
Yeah.
list. Think about it. Yeah, he was on the list, and Steve offered it to him.
Wow.
And it was a bit of a weird thing, right? Because Bruce, we're all friends and everything.
Mm.
That was a weird time for Maiden. We all know that.
Yeah.
They went down and played bars for a while after that when Blaze Bailey joined the band and all that.
Yeah.
So we've all had our options and things we could have done, but I don't know. There's something about when it's your baby.
Yeah.
It's your baby.
No question.
There's something to that. I don't know. That's the best
Cool
way I
answer,
can
man.
explain it.
That's
to
a
you.
really cool answer. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You,
Honest answer.
you tweaked my curiosity to something you just said though, and you mentioned recording with Andy Johns, and obviously he did, Zeppelin, and there's tons of stories about him being a bit of a drummer killer in the studio. It always fascinates me to talk to a drummer about working with a producer and how that went. And obviously, there you go.
Let me guess. Is it in the book?
It's like we rehearsed this, Darrell, before you got on.
I know. I like to show you this. It'd be in chapter 10. There's Andy Johns.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talk all about that in heavy detail, and I go all through the drum tracks that I recorded every track in
Nice.
chapter 10 in this book with Andy. And so, yeah, it's in the book. But I was very nervous working with Andy, I'll be honest, because I know he had replaced Fred Curry in Cinderella. It's in the book, maybe unjustly, I don't know, but my favorite drummer came in and played Cozy Powell. So I was like, wow, you worked with Cozy Powell, awesome. So Andy's worked with all my heroes, Bonham,
Right.
Cozy Powell, and even guys that are my heroes that aren't in my top 5, like Charlie Watts and Ringo Starr and these people. I mean, they're just another level of rock star drummer, so I respect those drummers a lot. And Andy worked with them all, and yeah, I had to prove myself to Johns. There's no doubt about it. And you're either good or you're not, and you either have great feel or you don't. There's no gray area. He just wants a drummer to deliver great tracks to start a record.
Yeah,
it's not a lot to ask. And the way I looked at it, if you're a drummer in a rock band signed to Epic Records for like 3 albums, $1 million record deal, and you're in the studio with Andy Johns, you better be a great drummer. What are you doing there?
yeah.
Fair enough.
Like, how did you get that far? What are you doing there? And so, I knew what I was capable of, and I know myself, and I know I'm not John Bonham. I don't want to be John Bonham. I'm Darrell Dwarf. I play dwarf music. I play drums to the Killer Dwarfs. No one plays it better than I do.
Nope.
And John's loved me. He loved me, man. Lucky for me, he loved me. He loved my personality. He knows I like to drink. So does he. So we kind of got along famously, him and I. And, it's all in the book, guys.
I'm getting that damn book,
That's
man.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
That's
gonna
one of
get
my
this
favorite
book.
chapters. That's one of my favorite chapters, the one about
Right on.
Andy. Yeah. So there you go.
Listen, Darrell, we want to be respectful of your times. I just wonder if you have any clothing thoughts or anything you want to share with our audience, because I mean, people
I'm a
just go
big-
back. I mean, your history is on it's on the net. You can see
Yeah.
Automan.com, and you can see everything with the Killer Dwarfs.
Oh, Automan. Yeah, Automan.ca is my
Sorry,
that
.ca.
other band of mine. But yeah, I have DarrellDwarf.com. I have my own sites. There's KillerDwarfsBand.com. There's so many websites, and then we're all over social media, right? Twitter, all of it. We're on all of it. Well, I'm a big hockey fan, and my TV's been on the whole time. By the way, I've been
And?
paying attention to you guys, but it's 2-2 Toronto and Tampa Bay.
Oh, good battle. Good battle.
There's 1-0 last time we checked in. That's right.
No, I'm just kidding. But the game is on. I went to the game the other night. That was a bit of a weird one. I went. That was my second hockey game I've gone to, and with this COVID crap, right? It's just really weird, man. Everybody's got their masks on, and the arena's sold out. It's packed. But you wear your mask, but then you order a beer, and you take your mask off. It's like when I flew to Whitehorse. You're on a plane, and your food comes, and so your mask is on. Everybody's got a mask on, and then you take your mask off, and then you take a sip, and you eat your sandwich, and then the flight attendant's like, "Put your mask on." I'm like, "Oh, I put my shit down, put my mask on." So what the fuck is going on? Is the virus asleep? The virus is asleep when I take my mask off and eat. It's back.
It's like,
Put it
let's
back
get it.
on.
Oh,
Right.
oh, you're eating. Okay, well, time out. You're having.
Right. So it's kind of like that at I'm not saying the virus is foolish or anything here. I just think I agree with the mask. I think it has helped, but it's getting a little bit crazy. Like, I'm at a hockey game and I got my beer and my food and I'm taking my mask off, and there's guys beside me I don't know, and they're taking their mask off. They're right beside me and they're eating their food and drinking their beer and go Leafs, go, they're yelling and shit, spitting all over me, and then they put their mask back on. Right? So that's how the whole hockey game went. I'm just sick of it.
Yeah,
I'm sick
I
of
agree,
this
brother.
shit. I know we all are, and it's just nobody knows what to do now. It's just like mask on, mask off. I mean, I don't want to get into the whole vaccination thing. There's anti-vaxxers and people that got vaxxed, and obviously my whole band had to get vaxxed or we couldn't play shows. So
That's right.
we're all double vaxxed. We couldn't go on the cruise if we weren't.
That's right.
That was a no-brainer to me, and I'm not a vaccine guy. I'll be honest with you guys. I haven't got a flu shot even in my whole life since 1972. That's the
Big deal.
last time I got a flu shot. So I'm an anti-vaxxer. I really am. But it was a no-brainer for me to get this vaccine.
I'm
I
pro
just-
society. You know what I mean? I want to be part of society. So you gotta play along, right?
We're either all on the same page or we're not. And then we're in big trouble here with this. I mean, that's how I look at it. Obviously us guys here agree. And I'm glad that we all agree because I don't want to get in a fight with you guys. There's nothing worse than that.
Sean, what's funny, Darrell? We were talking about this the other day. You never used to talk about religion, politics, and now it's vaccines. But I can't remember what the other third one was. I can't even remember what it was.
You're right. Never talk about religion. What was it again? Religion,
Politics and religion.
Politics and religion are the main ones. And
Well,
now,
there's
and
a
now the
third
third
one.
one, don't talk about vaccination.
I know, but there used to be a third one before. I can't remember what it was.
Is there? I only remember the two. Never talk
Yeah.
about religion or is it marriage? No, it's religion and politics. Never talk about marriage. Jesus.
All right, Mr. Miller,
Ah.
how are these wonderful folks finding your book one last time? Because
the book.
you in the other segment you talked about free shipping and stuff. So hit
Yeah,
us up, my
thank
friend.
you. Thank you for that. Well, you know what? I like to direct everybody really to my own website because my own website gives me the biggest return. It really does at the end of the day. So my website is dunkspirateshop.com. DUNK pirateshop.com. And it's free shipping on there. And I sign every book myself and personalize it.
That's awesome.
And then if you don't want to do that and you want to wait to get my autograph on a tour somewhere or anything, then Amazon.com worldwide is your way to go there because they have in-house printing. They get it to you in 3 days, 4 days. It's going to cost you a little more money, that's all. But if you have an Amazon account and it's easier for you, then look for Thunderfoot, Chronicles of a Rock and Roll Pirate, Volume 1 at Amazon.com or .ca.
One of
On that
five,
note.
probably.
What?
One of 5 volumes, eh?
Oh yeah, maybe. I'm looking at 3 in my mind, but you could be right, man. I mean, like I said, we're not finished yet, so I know I can finish volume 2 for you guys, but volume 3 is going to be a while because volume 3 I figure is going to take us up to I don't know, maybe 2012 or something before we came back, right? So I don't know. We'll see.
Look forward to it, brother. Look forward to it.
All right. So thanks a lot, guys, for having
Thank
me
you
on
so
here. This
much.
was fun.
It's so much fun.
Yeah,
And
it was
I'm going
fun.
to Darrell. I'm going to shoot you a text later on in the week, and we'll figure out how to get you a mug, man.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Well, are you coming up to Toronto or just the area?
Don't know yet.
Oh, well, let me know, man. If you're
I will.
around, maybe we'll go for a Christmas drink.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
There you go.
Sounds good, buddy.
Okay, and I'll let you know about Danko Jones. I'm
Please,
gonna go to the show, so I'll let you know. Okay.
please. All
I'll
right.
shoot you a text. Okay,
Darrell,
guys.
Peace.
we sure appreciate it, brother. Peace out. Thanks for all
problem.
your time. And
Thanks so
for all
much.
your
Yeah.
Thanks for all your music.
Thank you.
All right, man. Peace
See
out.
ya. Bye.
Barstools